welcome to episode 26, not 6, of the These Little Hands podcast. My name is Millicent and I am coming to you from South Africa, where I live and work, and this is a podcast about knitting and sewing. And today I actually do have some sewing to show you. So let's get into the episode. So it's been quite a while and there's not really a reason for it other than I've been quite busy over the weekends and that's the only time I have to podcast. But today is a Tuesday and it's actually school holidays here in South Africa. I'm an occupational therapist, so I'm not completely off for the week, but I took a few days off so that I can do some of my things, and I have been knitting and sewing. So for quite some time my knitting mojo has disappeared a bit, so I haven't been too motivated to work on a specific project. So some of the projects you've seen in the previous episode will not be featured today because I haven't worked on them. So the only ones you will see are those ones that I worked on, and we'll go through that. I apologize for the noise outside. Somebody's cutting their grass and yeah, but anyway, it's a nice spring day here. And I know a lot of you are in the northern hemisphere where it is turning cold, but here we are moving into summer. So let me show you. I'm going to start with a few acquisitions because I have quite a few that I want to show and I want to use them, and I've been keeping them to show you. So I'm going to start with that. Sorry, I had to cut there because my setup here fell over. So that's not great. But anyway, so if you remember, that is where I was. I won a prize from the Wonders of the World Knit Along that was hosted by Pink Hair Girl Knits and a few other podcasts. And this is the bag that I won from Natural Yarns. And sorry for the crinkling. Ooh, I've stuffed all my things in here, so I'll show you now. So my prize was this bag and this ball of yarn that is, it is a 75% merino, 25% nylon. Bad Romance is the colorway name. So Bad Romance, all her colorways are named after songs. So that, if you don't know, is a Lady Gaga reference, which I think is very appropriate. And those buttons came with it. And also, no, not that. Now I'm not sure if these buttons came with this prize or with my socks box. Anyway, I'll show you now. Then the other gift I received, and I've already used quite a few of them, are these little balls of yarn, and I've added them into my crochet blanket. So they are called poppets, and they are from New Zealand. So I already added quite a few of them into my crochet blanket, which I will show you the progress on. So then I'm going to insert a picture here of all my gifts, but the Proudly South African swap just finished, and I got the loveliest package from my swap partner, and I got these mini skeins, and I have been adding these mini skeins online into my cart so many times and I haven't purchased them, so I'm so happy. This is this year's color range from Nurturing Fibers, and I'm so happy to have them because I've been eyeing so many of them, wanting to knit a sweater, and now I can look at the colors and choose from here. And these are definitely going into my crochet blanket today. So I got that, and then I got treats for Stella. There was a lovely candle. My bathroom smells of magnolias, which is so beautiful. Lovely soap, coffee, fudge, cookies, and also stitch markers that she made for me, and that's currently on one of my projects, which is so nice. So I think that was everything, but I'm inserting an image here so that you can see. I felt so spoiled and I had to wait about 2 weeks before I could open it because she dropped her package off, and we all opened it on Heritage Day, so that was such a treat. And then the other thing that I received was my last, well, it's not my last, I'm hoping to subscribe again, but last for this round socks box. So I got this lovely card. I'm on a journey and yarn is in my soul. So nice. And then I got these 4 mini skeins, but they're quite big. Well, this is 100 grams altogether of Miss Lamotte yarn, which, as you know, if you've watched before, I really like her yarn. So it's almost like a gradient set a little bit. Not completely, but you can grade it from there to there, which is really, really nice. And then a pattern of fingerless mittens, which is graded, like I just said. And then they also added a pen, a row counter, stitch marker, which is really nice, and these mini samples, which is also going into my granny stripe blanket. But there is a pattern for earrings by Brenda Grobler on the back, which is really nice. And also this Vinnie's Colors sample. I've actually knit a sweater out of this. If you remember, I once wore it on the podcast. It is a pink sweater with bobbles. This is a cotton yarn, but it is chunky, which is really, really nice. So now that I've shown you all my acquisitions, I can immediately add them into my blanket. Okay, so with that, I have one finished object, but I can't share it with you, so I'm going to put a teaser picture in here. But I did a test knit for Renee from East London Knits. She has a podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts, and that test knit is completed. So I've mostly worked on that, which is why I don't have a lot of finished objects to share with you. But keep watching her for when those patterns come out. I'm not exactly sure when the release date is, but I think it's going to be very exciting. So there's a teaser for you. And then let me continue with what I have. So I wanted to show you my crochet blanket. I'm not going to show it every time, but I have been loving working on this. So the last time I showed you this blanket, I was around here. So it's doubled in size already. And I put a stitch marker in here now, which is one of the stitch markers that I got in my swap. To show you, I'll keep it there, and then when I show you again, we can see how much I progressed. So I'm using mostly fingering weight yarn, but I do have DK yarn in between. Like for example, here, that yarn there is what I used to knit my Hoxton sweater. Yeah, there are a few pieces here, but most of them are mini skeins and leftover yarns that I have. So I'm really enjoying this. Is so mindless and it goes so quickly. I'm knitting or crocheting on a 3mm hook. So this is such a fun project. And I'm just joining the yarn with a magic knot. And I don't have any particular approach, except that if I see, okay, now there's a lot of dark colors, I'll go into light colors again, and if there's too many light colors, I'll go into dark color again. So I don't have a specific approach, and I try not to do more than 3 rows of one color if it's quite a big ball that's left over. So that is my crochet blanket. My next whip is something I'm considering entering into the Harry Potter knit along, because these are socks that I am knitting for Yaku, my boyfriend. I'm using the Sockmatician's toe up sock recipe exactly as he said. I cast on, well, it's toe up, but I'm using a 74 stitch count, and I used the entire 50-gram ball for these gigantic socks. I knit them on 2 point They're like as big as my arm. So I knit them on 2.25 needles, a magic loop in the round. And these socks, as gigantic as they are, fit him just. So I will have to knit it bigger the next pair that I knit. So I haven't started on the second one, but this is the giant socks that I'm going to enter into the Harry Potter knit-along, Socks for Giants. But anyway, I'm not very motivated to start the next one because it takes so long to knit him a pair of socks. I can knit a pair of socks out of 150-gram ball for myself, and for him this is the entire 50-gram ball. So yes, he is quite large. Anyway, so that is those, and then I have two whips. So the first one I want to show you is the Mount Pleasant Top. Sorry for going off the camera. It's the Mount Pleasant Top. It's a pattern by Pip and Pin, and it's been very popular on Ravelry. It is a short-sleeved crop top, and I got this yarn from my cousin. She went to Italy for holiday, and she brought me back this Egyptian cotton yarn. So I live in a warm country, so it's definitely not an option for me to knit a t-shirt out of wool because I'll never wear it. So cotton yarn is something I like to knit with, and this is how far I am. So I'm busy working the front, just waiting for the birds to pass. They're making quite a big noise. This is the back, stitches is on the holder. This is the front, very simple knit. Very fast. I'm knitting it on just the normal Knit Pro basics, I think they are. I'm knitting on a 60 centimeter cable, and these are 3.75, which is what the pattern calls for. Very simple knit, very nice and easy. So yes, I am going along with that. I am knitting the extra small because I wanted it to be a little bit tighter than some of the images. So you can knit it with as much or as little positive ease as you want. I'm planning to wear it with my high-waisted skirts, so then I want it to be a little bit more form-fitting. But yes, I really love it. I'm almost finished with the one ball, and then I will be going into the second ball, but I think this is the perfect amount. There's 250 meters on each one, so I have 500 meters to knit this with, which should be enough because I'm probably halfway with the front, and then I just have to do the back. There's no sleeves involved, so yes, that is book number one. Okay, then the second one is very similar. I just want to get the pattern for you. It is one of my projects that I wanted to knit for my hashtag Make 9 for the year. It's a crop top that I've been talking about, and I've been searching for yarn for a long time for this top. And it is also made out of yarn that my cousin and her boyfriend, well, he's also my friend, so I don't want to say her boyfriend, but because he is also my friend, but he happens to be her boyfriend as well. This is pure linen yarn, so it is quite rustic. There's no label. It's also from Florence, Italy. Florence, I should say. And this is the top. So this is the small size. It is going to be quite loose and airy. I made a mistake, so I put it down here. Can you see there's a gigantic hole, and I dropped stitches in the lace pattern. So let me just quickly see. This is from the Noro Spring Summer collection, and I'm knitting number 15, which is the cropped shell top over there. I didn't put a different color at the bottom. I wanted it to be just this plain grey. So I didn't do that piece. I'm not sure about the fit, but I don't think it matters that much. And the thing with linen is, people are often put off because it's quite crispy, but it gets softer as you use it. This is already more drapey than it was when I started, and it's already softer. So yes, I'm very excited about this. It's knitting up quite fast because you're knitting it on 4.5 millimeter needles, and then when you reach the top you go down to a smaller needle size to make the gauge a bit tighter there. But yes, I am not sure where I am on this pattern. I think I have to do 15 repeats, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have to do 12 or 15, I can't remember. So yes, this is going along well. I just need to fix this problem over there. But anyway, I might have to fudge it because I don't feel like ripping back the lace because I might lose stitches, and then I'll have to start over. So we'll see about that. You can put in a lifeline to, it's especially recommended when you do lace work, but I didn't do that and I've never done it, so yes. Okay, so let's talk about sewing. It's been quite some time since I have sewn anything. The last thing I sewed was a jacket for my dog Stella, which I did in the winter. And before that, the last time I sewed, I think, was in March. You might remember that I broke my wrist and I just didn't have any inspiration. But I have gotten into a few things over the past few days. And the first one I want to show you is this dress that I'm wearing. I don't know what pattern I used. It is a pattern that I've used before. I've made a skirt from it and a top, but I can't seem to find the pattern. And I was under the impression there's still quite a bit of work to do on this dress. And when I took it out, I only had to do the arms here and the buttons. So that took me no time at all. I'm going to stand up to show you. So I made it in this animal print fabric, which I really like because I think every South African should have a safari outfit. I'm not very into animal print, so this is my interpretation. And I have these vintage buttons on here and this fabric. So I made the pattern basically exactly as is. The only thing I'm not super happy about is this pleat at the back. It's standing out quite a bit. So I need to make a plan of how to fix it. So if you have any idea, so I can either take it up and away or in. I don't know if it bothers me, but I think it does. So I'm wearing a slip underneath because this fabric is a little bit see-through. What are any other adjustments I made? There's pockets. Yes, I'm pretty happy with it. I was very happy with it when I finished it, but when I put it on this morning, I saw this gap at the back, which is not my favorite. So if you have any ideas for me, please let me know. The second thing I made is this one. If you follow me on Instagram, there will be images up at some stage. I didn't take any images now because they all still need to be washed. They just came off the sewing machine. So I made this top, which is Simplicity 8335, and I made view A exactly as it is. I cut out the extra small, and I didn't make any. No, I did make an adjustment. So my arms are a little bit bigger than most of the time. I find that I wear a small size, but then it's too tight around the arms. So I let out the seam allowance on the arms and over the shoulder here at the back a bit, so to just give me a little bit more room there. And it's really cute. At the back it has these this frill detail, and it's a little bit lower at the back. and it is cropped. It's not that cropped, I'm pretty short, so it's the perfect length for me. But it's not a tight fit, it's nice and loose, and I really love it. And this fabric I got from Arthur Bales. All the fabric, this fabric, and the fabric behind me is fabric that I bought from Arthur Bales, which is my local knitting and sewing store. So yes, that is that one. And then the last one I want to show you is this one, which is probably my favorite one of all the ones I have. This, I didn't use a pattern, but I've been seeing these tops in Zara and all over the internet and trends and so on. So I got this fabric from Arthur Bales and I love it. So it is a sheer top, so you wear a cami underneath, or if you're very brave, a bralette. And I didn't use a pattern. I took one of my t-shirts that's quite oversized because you want the drop shoulder, and I cut it from there, and then I just cut rectangles to make the sleeves. There's no interfacing or anything like that, and you also don't have to finish the seams. And I put it on and cut it to the length I wanted. And at the back I did a little detail with the button, so I made there's a bling button there at the back. So I really love this. I will be wearing it for my sister's engagement party next weekend, and that is what I made it for. So I'm planning to wear it with black pants and black block heel shoes. But I love, love, love this one. So this is, I think, probably the first time I didn't use a pattern at all to make something. But yes, I'm very happy with how it turned out. So yes, I think that is it from me. I hope you enjoy your day, and I look forward to chatting to you again.